So this little conversation, this will be the second time I've recorded it and posted responses here. And the reason why is because I don't like saying things multiple times. If I say something once, it's easy enough for me to make a video and then just post the video link. If I have to say it again, I don't have to sit and retype things. It's a good way for me to manage my time. And, as a father of four and, having other things in my life going on, I'm a pretty busy guy. And right now I'm making a documentary on Hawaiian history called Hawaii Divided. It will be released on December 14th. So I don't have a lot of time, and I just wanted to document the last couple of responses here. This went from, I think earlier today we were at 49 responses. Today it's 81. And we're just saying the same things over and over again. Like this guy right here says, you're the one who keeps going around in circles. You think that you're a good spin doctor, but you're so transparent. We understand what you're trying to do and what you're saying without having to use exact words. Racists have been doing this to Kanaka ever since they came here to manipulate, control, take. We know every dirty trick up your sleeves, and we know why brainwashed coconuts do what they do. Poor that you has to live on and off our lands, helping this fake state war criminal country, the USA, continue their thievery. Everything done in the darkness shall come out in the light. Well, I'm not hiding. I come out in the light and say what I have to say. I'm not being paid by anybody. I just feel like my friend Lisa in this video said, feels the same way. I mean, her son is a professor at University of Hawaii, Manoa, has multiple degrees that they've earned here in Hawaii due to science, due to STEM, due to the promotion of science and astronomy in this community and the money that it brings into Hawaii. She's thankful. I'm thankful. Kalepa Babion has also said a lot of good things for this. These guys couldn't hold a light to Kalepa. So here's the thing, and I'm going to just wrap this up because I'm tired of saying it over and over. And I don't know why they continue to spend so much time posting comments when they could just make a video, say it once, and not have to re-say it again and again. They keep saying that I won't debate them, that I won't show up for a debate, whatever. In this video, I showed up. I showed up and talked at multiple Jennifer Ruggles meetings. I went up to the Mauna Kea protest about 6 times, had multiple discussions with dozens of people. I mean, I show up, they don't. And they say that I'm hiding. I don't get that. So anyway, we'll go down because this all is from like a week ago. And I think I've already gotten that captured and posted as a video, all of my responses. And it's important to do this just because I don't have a lot of time. Apparently they have a lot more time than I do because I don't have time to sit and, post the same thing over and over again. So like, let's see. Like this guy, see, they try to incite all these emotional responses. See, it's all emotional. It's all down at this lower level of thought for them. Rather than speaking intellectually and factually, like this fellow right here says, matter of fact, I'll go buy an American flag, and he spells America with KKK in it, and burn it for you when I go back to Hilo to take my son to see his mom. I'll burn it through and effing through. I'll do it here in Oahu. Like, that's supposed to make me react or make me emotional. I don't care what you do with your flag. Go buy a flag, burn it, waste your money. I don't care. Sounds about as useful as going up to Mauna Kea and protesting. Thank you for pointing that out. He says, in response to what he said that I hate Kanaka. I do not. But he says this. And so, right here, I replied to him. I said, you can use these strong words like hate. Those are your words. And they wreck your whole argument. Really, I feel like I'm arguing with a toddler. I'm out working on this documentary about Hawaiian's history. Oh my gosh. So this guy says, no, you don't. You're not born here. Born abroad of native parents, not. Live here for 5 years, not. Be of Aboriginal blood. A big frickin' no. A hell no. Sorry, kiddo, you ain't Hawaiian. Besides, you too ugly. They always bring it down to these very emotional and very petty reactions. And then this guy's saying that I avoid debating him. Like what is there to debate? We're going to get into an emotional slugfest and start waging insults at each other? He doesn't use any facts. Oh gosh, you see he's got like 6 responses in a row. When didn't they claim their land was extended over and over by acts which allowed Hawaiians to still receive grants up to the overthrow, even beyond? I don't know what he's talking about here. If he would cite these things or even put them in a coherent response and make a video out of it, it might be easier to understand, but he's fragmenting his responses, thinking that I'm going to be able to connect the dots. I mean, there's 80 something comments here, and he hasn't posted for like 2 or 3 days, so I'm not sure where in the conversation I'm supposed to connect this to. I'm not sure exactly what he's saying. Let's see, he says, you don't even know the difference between Native Hawaiian and Hawaiian National. Cry, laugh. I'm going to love the day I meet you in Puna or Hilo. It's going to be funny, a memorable occasion for you and me. Just got to smile at the stupidity. Let's see, Olen. I'm going to pester this dude and follow his every move because for me, I just want to spread his message of ignorance and hate. I am going to spread his words like an infection it is and let it breed hate. I think we need it. It's sad, but it's necessary. As Bob said, we got to chase those crazy bald heads out of our town. Right on. Hawaiian, we on the same page. Kalapana in the house. That's okay. Interesting. See, and this is what he's saying, that I want to debate this or something. I don't want to debate this. There's no facts here to debate. It's just emotional, ignorance. Like it's bickering. It's childish. If there was a fact to debate here, I'd be happy to debate it. I'd address it right now if he gave anything worth addressing. Then this other guy says, you are missing an important factor, Ryan. There was no such thing as a legal Republic of Hawaii. So I already addressed that. I mean, I put a video together, Larson versus the Hawaiian Kingdom, and I posted an entire video that was made with the response of David Tsai, who is their main go-to philosopher or PhD guy on these issues. And, I dissected his whole response. And, the fact that he never uses the Morgan Report, the fact that he never talks about the letters of recognition, the fact that he doesn't even mention what the definition of annexation is, shows that, his argument is intellectually dishonest. So I filled in the gaps. I put in where the Morgan Report was, proven that the Blount Report was lying. So James Blount went in, he didn't take any sworn testimony. He didn't have any cross-examination. He took his testimonies in secret. So in the Morgan Report, everything was taken out in the open with a sworn oath and cross-examined in Congress. And the same witnesses that James Blount interviewed in the Morgan Report and in front of Congress and in sworn oaths, they said that James Blount lied. So in the Apology Act of 1993, it says that the truth is somewhere between the Morgan Report and the Blount Report. Well, the Morgan Report proved the Blount Report was lying. And so I agree, we got to look at both. And that David Tsai doesn't present both shows his argument is intellectually dishonest. So he keeps going over these same things. He said this before in the same conversation. Our queen didn't willingly sign anything over to anyone. Okay, go back to the definition of annexation. I've posted several links to that. It's silly to continue to regurgitate this stuff. This guy, Disruptarian Ryan, is just a jerk. He loves going around in circles. I think he loves getting negative attention. He knows what he's doing. He knows the truth. He's just trying to desperately sound relatively legit when he doesn't know shit. He hates Hawaiians and never will realize the truth because he loves the smell of his head way up, you know where. It's making him insane. He's into thievery. So he makes all these accusations. He's got no proof, obviously, of any of this, but he makes these emotional accusations and jabs, right, and continues to jab at me, thinking that I've got an emotional response to wage back at him. See, that's not how I respond. So I'll let them do their little, grade school responses back and forth, and when they come up with a good point, I'll address it. And that's what this whole documentary is about that's coming out December 14th. Disruptarian is a Kanaka hater. He hates us and God's honest truth. That they all are coming out of the woods now. That's what they do when they're scared. Lie, cheat, make up stories. Victimize innocent people. Even more to hold their stolen goods. There's a special place for people like them, so I'm going to go ahead and address all of that in a minute. I said, your opinion is noted, and I have researched that point of view very well. I disagree. I also do not know of any court or nation that does agree with your point of view. Please remember to send me a message when that ever happens. Meanwhile, I'm releasing this documentary on December 14th, Hawaii Divided. And then so Olen, this guy, he says, no worries, this clown is so wrong in many ways, total comedy. Been trying to get this clown on a live debate. He no like, he's scared, he gotta read more. I said, funny, because I go to just about every meeting. Just watch the video above. I was there. You keep saying that I'm hiding. You aren't making a very strong case. And then this other guy says, the only court or point of view that matters is God's law in the end. Right from wrong, stealing from people's land in present day is what's going on right now with Mauna Kea. It's not only sinful, it's illegal, it's theft. Blah, blah, blah. Mountain belongs to beneficiaries, does not belong to the fake state. So anyway, same thing. He keeps going over this fake state, but he doesn't have any facts to prove it. So anyway, so I respond to him. He says, disruptarian is a Kanaka hater. I said, funny, because when I show up at these meetings, who am I with? Kanaka. I have more Kanaka friends than Haole friends. He says, he hates us and God's honest truth. And my response is, I love truth and I love to share it. I am fine with you having your opinion, but what seems obvious is that you hate my opinion. We can disagree and not hate each other. Then his response, or his comment, I address this. He says, they all are coming out of the woodwork now, and that's what they do when they're scared. And I said, yeah, that's why we were coming into public places, to share our opinion, because we're scared. ROFL makes sense. And then he says, lie, cheat, make up stories, victimize innocent people, even more to hold on to their stolen goods. And I said, I can't imagine you're referring to me and my mortgage that I paid full price for. You must be talking about David Tsai and his various felony charges for theft. And then I referenced the video I made about why David Tsai's felonies matter. So he's got one that he's been convicted of, and he's got one that he's been charged with for stealing from Kanaka. So these people get desperate, upside down in their mortgage, and he comes in and says, hey, I can get you out of your mortgage, just stop paying it, and I'll make you a fake title and give you this this new title, and you can claim this property as your own. And they believe him. They give him $1,500. They end up losing their homes anyway. One of them even went to jail for what he did.
All new tonight at 6, a state agency has referred a case involving a controversial Hawaiian studies professor for criminal investigation.
David Keanu Tsai allegedly ran a fraudulent mortgage rescue scheme. As Rick Desog reports, it's a familiar accusation.
David Keanu Tsai is a convicted felon and a Hawaiian studies scholar at Windward Community College who continues to advocate this controversial theory.
Land titles were no good in Hawaii because of 1893.
The State Office of Consumer Protection says Tsai is using that theory to commit felonies with a fraudulent foreclosure rescue business. The criminal referral came in a case involving a foreclosure of this home. Despite Keanu Tsai's assistance, the owners lost the property. In 2015, court documents say Tsai received nearly $8,000 from the homeowners. Quote, Tsai contracted with consumers, demanded and received advance payments in violation of both state and federal consumer protection law.
This is just one in a long line of scams that take advantage of people who found themselves in desperate financial situations. It's really a shame.
Tsai's lawyer says he's not aware of the criminal case against his client and declined further comment. This isn't the first time Tsai has gotten into legal trouble. Nearly 2 decades ago, he was sentenced to 5 years of probation for theft. At the time, he tried to convince distressed homeowners to stop making mortgage payments.
Outrageous. Smear. When you speak the truth, you get hit. But I was just speaking the truth. And now I got a PhD to prove it.
The university confirmed that Tsai is still employed teaching Hawaiian studies. Rick Desog, Hawaii News Now.
And they tried to steal a house from somebody else that was, that had title, that was living in the house. And then David Tsai gives them a fake title and says, go take your house back. And they do. I mean, this is David Tsai's advice. That's what he's charging $1,500 for. That's why he's got a felony, and that's why he's being charged again as of 2019 for another felony. I said, he says this, I quote him, "Your superior attitude, thinking someone else's property is yours for the taking." I said, "I don't know about you, but I have 28 years left on my mortgage. No shortcuts, no theft here. Maybe you are referring to when Tahitians first came here, enslaved the original people who were here first and made them into slaves, a kaua." I said, "Whatever you are saying, you clearly don't know what you're talking about. I've never taken anything from anyone that I didn't earn. Maybe you were talking about David Tsai." And then I posted this link here, and it's all in the description. You can check it. And then he says, who do you show up to a meeting with? I see you showing up with a coconut." So they're using racial slurs against Kanaka. They say the same thing against Kalepa Babain.
Aloha County Council members, Karen, before I start, I gotta speak real slowly because I have a hard time controlling my breathing. So just some consideration. I'm not gonna take more than 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Kalepa Baibain of Kailua Kona, providing testimony in opposition to Resolution 23319. I wholeheartedly reject the resolution forwarded by the ill-considered request of Senator Kai Kahele, urging Governor David Ige and Mayor Harry Kim, calling for a moratorium on the construction of the 30-meter telescope. There currently is a self-imposed moratorium on construction access and any observatory activity imposed by those blockading access to the summit in the name of Kapu Aloha. Their action demonstrates anything but aloha. Yesterday, a Gemini Observatory maintenance crew was denied access to the summit, even though an agreement had previously been reached. Protesters reneged on the agreement. Law and order is not in control of the mountain. I respect the right of protesters to protest peacefully, but not to break the law by denying legal access to the summit. TMT has endured a long and tenuous legal process, and the Supreme Court ruled favorably to uphold the BLNR's right to grant a conservation district use permit. In an adversarial court process, both sides present evidence to make their case. One side is successful in arguing the case, and one side is the loser. To now disagree with the verdict by actions blockading TMT construction crews' access to the mountain is the behavior of an immature adolescent, and it unfairly punishes the project. I don't know the process by which a resolution appears in committee, but we trust our counselors to demonstrate clear insight, a sense of civic duty, and reasoned leadership. This resolution displays none of these attributes. The resolution should read, "We, the County Council, implore the Governor and the Mayor to immediately reestablish the rule of law, to restore and protect access to all users of the summit, protectors, observatory staff, and TMT construction crew." This should have been done first because it demonstrates insight for the challenge, a sense of fair duty to all, and reasoned and reflective leadership. It is my hope that there still exists enough leaders on this council that will reject this proposed misguided resolution based upon insight, fair duty, and reasoned leadership. Everybody, you need to learn how to share the Mauna. Mahalo.
And he's like, cultural practitioner, born and raised in Hawaii, Kanaka, has generations of family from here. I mean, they say the same thing about him. They call him coconut just because he doesn't agree with them. So they use racial slurs, and then they call everybody else racist. And then they make these racial distinctions and say only their race belongs here, nobody else does. And then they call everybody else racist. I mean, this is the weakness of their argument. It's all emotional. They're trying to get a negative response out of people. It's silly. And then he says, can I even pronounce the name of our queen? Nothing but a coconut. I said, in reply to him, my responses are in bold. He says, the only core to point of view that matters is God's law in the end. I said, so besides you, a handful of people, and apparently your version of God, no one else really agrees with your version of this? And then he says, right from wrong, stealing people's land in present day, what's going on right now in Mauna Kea, it's not only sinful, it's illegal, it's theft. I said, no, it is legal. It's all about reading what the Hawaiian State Constitution, Article 12, Section 4, the same section that most of the protesters reference during DHHL meetings and such. This is state land, meant for the general public. The Hawaiian Kingdom hasn't existed for over 120 years. Despite your belief that it does, legally, as you say, it doesn't matter because it doesn't exist. When it does exist, you may have a point. And then I quote him, he says, there are real and present-day people alive today who own these Kulina lands. They can never be bought or sold. I said, David Tsai is wrong about this, and so are you. Which is why I asked you which court or nation agreed with your premise. The quote-unquote crown lands were actually ceded to the Republic of Hawaii. The USA annexed the Republic of Hawaii at the request of the Republic of Hawaii, and these lands were turned over to the USA government as public lands, and the reason being that 1, the monarchy was dissolved, so no owner. 2, the USA had to pay off the massive debt of the monarchy that they accumulated. I mean, you and I will never agree on this, and I will be honest, I was very favorable for the independence of Hawaii until I learned the fake history that David Tsai presented, and then the fake history that others presented. I will support a good movement towards independence from the USA, but I won't support it based on a lie. I have about a dozen videos that I have made over the years supporting Puerto Rico's independence. But they do not premise their cause based on fake history. So I feel much better about supporting their very non-racially based cause for independence than I do supporting the lies of people like David Tsai. Give me a good reason to support Hawaiian independence from the USA. I am open-minded. But if you only have the same case that David Tsai presents, then I'm already out. And then he says, you don't have an opinion. You are blatantly lying, aka calling people who know the truth stupid. You are trying to continue brainwashing. If you haven't noticed, many of us are not going to allow people, lowlifes, to come here, use and abuse it still anymore. A normal thing people do to protect their country and people, until a last aloha aina. We don't need another football stadium-sized observatory on our sacred mountain and conservation land. Our Mauna is our main aquifer and sacred to all Polynesia. And you idiots want to blast 2 to 4 story deep into that undeveloped area, our sacred mountain, that already had the 2 highest peaks chopped off the tax money would have better used to help small businesses instead. Well, the money doesn't exist without the telescope. Citizens have needs. The 14th telescope is not a need. Taxes shouldn't be spent to help foreign predatory capitalists. Needs come before selfish wants. Yeah, so after tourism, astronomy is the next most contributing financial factor of Hawaii's gross domestic product. So most of the money and most of the earnings and whatnot for Hawaii comes from astronomy after tourism. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Plus another $1.4 billion building construction project, employing local Hawaiians, making that like a bad thing. And then what, another 140 jobs after that when it's built? And they're high paying jobs. I mean, they're not tourist jobs. Tourist jobs suck. Anyway, it's clear that this isn't about facts or rational thinking. This isn't about emotional reaction and wanting more. He says, cannot even pronounce our queen's name correctly, nothing but a coconut. I said, right, and this is why I do not take you seriously. People on your side of the fence will always say the same thing about Kalepa Baban, etc. Anyone who doesn't agree with you 100% is, as you call them, a coconut. How very narcissistic of you. Can't even pronounce her queen's name. I said, I have Scottish ancestors from over 100 years ago directly related to me, and I can't even pronounce their names the way that they do. I went to Scotland a few years back, and even though we speak the same language, we do not speak it the same. I think you are splitting hairs here. He says, you do not have an opinion. You are blatantly lying, aka calling people who know truth stupid. I said, except that has never happened. Who have I called stupid? At least 2 people have called me stupid in this thread. But that is not how I converse. And even if I did say that, it is still an opinion. I don't think you know what the definition of an opinion is. Regardless, I have done extensive research on this, and I have formed my own opinion. I have met personally with David Tsai, Jennifer Ruggles, and many of the other people on both sides of this issue. I have dug into the history, into the state and international law, and I feel like I have enough information to form my own educated opinion. In my videos, I always tell people to do their own research. But I also provide sources that people can reference for facts. For example, in every single presentation that I have watched of David Tsai, he doesn't mention the Morgan Report. That is a crucial aspect of history. He only mentions the Blount Report. Well, in my presentations, I mention and give sources for both. It is just a better way to deliver information. You know, offering up both sides rather than just the side that favors your point of view. As for Lisa, you say I bribed her? I hadn't even met her before that meeting. She contacted me through my blog and asked if I would say a few words during her time. I agreed. But I have never given her a penny. She isn't bought by anyone, and neither am I. You will say the same shit about anyone who disagrees with you. The stuff I hear protesters say about Kalepa Babayan and other Kanaka just for having a different point of view, you couldn't even hold a candle to the integrity of Kalepa. Fact. I think Kanaka who speak up for a different point of view than what their friends or family have are brave. I applaud her and people like Kalepa. Boy, this goes on and on. It went on. I think there's like another 10 of these posts. I just wanted to document them. I may not even make this a feature video, but I just wanted to document it. So he says, when you lie to people, you are trying to fool them. You are clearly exhibiting hatred when people speak and of you, or tell you their truth, and you try to brainwash us and anyone else who will listen to them, lie after lie after lie. Our grandparents did not lie to us, but you are so arrogant to say our truth is not the truth. I mean, your Kanaka, as you call them, people in your own community that have generations of family from here, even Ali'i, disagree with you as well. But then you call them racial slurs, okay? So, I mean, it's if somebody doesn't agree with you and you call them a racial slur and you try to reduce their effectiveness, are you also doing the same thing that you're accusing me of doing? Yes, you are. But it is not he says, it is not up to you to say whether someone feels hatred by you. If someone feels hatred by you, then they're telling you their truth. Well, I'm telling you my truth. I don't hate you. You can't speak for me or what I feel. You can try to say that I feel that way, but you're wrong. So then he says, stop trying to tell me my own story and my own family's life for the past 3 generations. My Kapuna raised me to never lied to me about any of the important in my life, in my entire life. Or about anything important in my entire life. But did I hit a nerve? And did I say and or interesting nerve I hit there, huh? And Kalepa is a coconut too. See, of course. Of course. Anybody who disagrees with you is a racial slur. You have to be so petty. And that's why it's impossible to argue with you people. People aren't searching you out to get your opinion because you only have emotional insults. You don't have a factual argument. You don't have an educated presentation. All you have is emotional insults, racism, racial slurs, and just knee-jerk reactions. I mean, that's the problem here. And he goes on and on. He says, like I said, this guy, Olen, because I asked him, why don't he go to the meetings that I go to? He keeps saying I'm hiding from him. He says he wants to debate me, but I'm not, but he says I'm too scared. That's what he said. I'm not scared of the debate. Why do I show up and speak in front of an audience of hundreds of people if I'm so afraid? So first, thank you. I am new to Hawaii. I've only been here for a few months. I don't consider myself a citizen really of anywhere. I've been to 12 countries this year. I don't believe in borders. I don't believe in a lot of this. So, when it comes to nations and things like that, I believe that we're humans and we live on planet Earth. That's my philosophy. But what I'm looking at is the international law, which you brought up a lot of good points that I didn't know about before. But what I'm seeing here is that in 1949, we're talking about the Hague Convention and the Geneva Convention, but we're talking about treaties that were established long before that in 1873 and things like that. So I'm just wondering how retroactively can international law go back? So there's been a lot of treaties violated, not only by the U.S., but by every country. I mean, even in Hawaii, there was a lot of wars for 900 years. You know, Maui took Hawaii, Hawaii took Maui, and Oahu, and back and forth. There was a lot of wars and a lot of conquests. So there's been conquests for all of human history. So if we're talking about a 1949 law and international law, how far can that go back, and how many wrongs can we right with that law? Is it even possible? So thank you. I went to this meeting that we're talking about on this video. I went to Jennifer Ruggles' town hall meetings and spoke to people both times. I went to the Mauna Kea protest about 6 times. But anyway, he says he works too freaking much, and you don't. Didn't you say I'm poor and disabled? Boo-hoo-hoo, pity party. I wouldn't dare pick on a cripple, die laugh. Poor and slightly disabled. Or why don't you ask any of the Hawaiian Kingdom's former treaty holders, treaty partners, how they feel? Oh, this was to the other guy. I'll get to the Olen thing. Said, do you think the Netherlands or Switzerland or Britain feel that the overthrow was illegal? So it's a matter of, international law. They keep saying that. So international law has a lot to do with international recognition by all. The Republic of Hawaii was recognized by all of the former Hawaiian Kingdom's treaty partners. That's international law right there, giving it legitimacy. So I said to Olen, he says, like I said, I work too freaking much, and you don't. Didn't you say I'm poor and disabled? Boo-hoo-hoo, pity party. I wouldn't dare pick on a cripple, die laugh. I'm poor and slightly disabled. So he's laughing at somebody who's disabled. Interesting. Racial slurs, laughing at handicapped people. Boy, this is a real positive community of people. Interesting. So he says, I say to him, I said, you keep going in circles here. First you threaten me for a few weeks. Then you say they weren't threats. Now you say you have been looking for me to have a debate. I'm all about the debate. I'm not scared of your threats either. Even with my car accident injuries, I'm not unable to defend myself. But for you, one day you want to fight, the next day you want to debate. Then you don't want to debate because I have injuries. What the fuck? Do my injuries have to do with you wanting to debate me? You just made the offer in this thread that you wanted to debate me no more than 24 hours ago. Now you don't. Make up your mind. But the point is, I'm not hiding. And he says, you're the one who keeps, this other guy says, you're the one who keeps going around in circles. You think you're a good spin doctor, but you're so transparent. Oh, I read this one earlier. Olen says, who the F said I would fight you? I'd say I'd slap the F out of you if I want to. Okay, interesting. I ain't trying to pick on scrubs. You'll understand when we meet. It wouldn't be a fight, for your only chance would be to shoot me. You talk some crazy shit just like me, but I'm the one who back it up. My intelligence is far superior than yours, hence there is no need to get physical. Lucky you wimp. Shoot me, I don't mind. I eat them. So he keeps reverting back to violence, but then when I say, well, why do you keep talking all this violent shit? I'm not hiding. I'm down at these debates. I'm down at the Mauna. I'm down at the Jennifer Ruggles meeting. I'm not hiding. And he keeps saying I'm scared. I'm not hiding. So whatever he's got in store for me, I'm not hiding. But he doesn't show up, and I do. And then he's like, no, I don't want to fight you. I just want to debate you. Well, then what does that have to do with my injuries? Or what does that have to do with, any of this? I've never even offered to fight him. He's offered to fight me. And then I'm like, well, I'm not hiding. Come on down. I'm down at this meeting today. Do what you will. And then he never shows up. And he says, fighting is kiddish. Those days are far gone now. I enjoy humiliating people better now, especially ignorant, arrogant foreigners like you who come here, live for 2 years, then use some confirmation bias to prove points. And I said, you keep typing, to the other guy, not Olen, but to this other guy. Said, you keep typing without saying anything. Like most significant thing you have said is the Hawaiian Kingdom still exists. Yet you have provided no evidence of this, just anecdotes. My documentary that is coming out December 14th will help clear up all this confusion. And then I said to this Olen guy, that again, all the times that you say I'm hiding from you is funny, because I am obviously not. Whatever your motivation is, since that changes from day to day, whatever your motivation, I am not afraid of you. I show up all of the time. I have been to Mauna Kea about 6 times over the past 4 months, spent hours talking to people. I have been to many meetings at UH. I went to all of the Jennifer Ruggles town hall meetings and spoke to the crowd each time. I'm around, bro. And then I said, whenever you feel like correcting all of my lies while you were spending 2 hours fighting in YouTube comments, why not use your camera and record a 5-minute video? You spend hours bragging about your skills in the comments, and you spend hours talking about how you're too busy to show up to meetings. Well, just argue your points on video. I'll debate anytime. Do it here. He says, well, you're formally invited to me. So he's still not going to make a video. Okay, so he says, well, you're formally invited by me to the La Kukoa convention this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. I'll be there. I hope to see you. I'll sit right next to you and make sure you don't get out of line. All of your favorite speakers and friends will be there. Miss Ruggles, Dr. Sai, Professor Kalakaua, Una, Donovan, President, myself. Then you can listen to real PhDs in their areas of expertise and you'll learn. If you act up, I'll be right next to you to embarrass you. Looking forward to meeting you, homie. Oh boy. And then he keeps going on. So when he says that he gave me, okay, dummy, I never said you're hiding. Gave you my number, asked you to meet up, talk story. You no call, no like, sit down, meet, no set date. I have more pride in myself than to start making 10-minute clips on YouTube to refute an idiot. What kind of life is that? So then why invite me to debates? Why tell me that you want to debate me? Why say you're looking for me to debate me if you don't have time for that? You don't have time to put your points of view on video? I think it's because you're hiding. I think it's because you don't want to show your face. You don't want to reveal your name. You tell me you've given me your phone number? You've never given me that. So, anyway, so he can't make videos. He can't reveal his name. He's never given me his phone number. So I say this. I said, you gave me no such thing. You did not give me your number. You posted what you said was your real name, but I have no evidence that it is your real name. My phone number is on and has been on my website for years. And I posted this 2 hours ago. I haven't heard from him. There's been no calls from this guy. So my phone number is on and has been on my website for years, 808-206-7399. But with you being so busy and all, I find it surprising that you have hours and hours each day to post on Facebook and you can't even make a 5-minute debate video. And then I said, you keep saying, I gave you this and that. Just make a video. Document your evidence for the world to see. I'm happy to make responses. I can say this. 1, you never gave me your phone number, nor do I have it. You never gave me any law that showed that Hawaiians were outlawed from voting. You never gave me any evidence for the Hawaiian kingdom still existing. It's real quick and simple to make a video. You spend hours commenting on my videos. It takes a fraction of that time to make a video of your own. Then you don't need to make excuses about how you are too busy to show up at meetings. Hell, you've never even given me a call. I've given you my phone number about 6 times. It's been on my website for 2 years. Huh.